Here come our next gymnasts. These are the 8 who've made the final of the men's rings. They are accompanied by the 8 best gymnasts on the uneven bars. Well, the uneven bars will see the much anticipated World Challenge Cup debut of Kélia Némor of Algeria, the French-born African all-round champion who is noted for her prowess on the uneven bars. That is the start list for the women's bars final. It is Georgia Godwin, who has just come from taking silver on the floor, who will start things off. No time whatsoever to catch her breath before she starts on her next apparatus and her next quest for a medal. And that final will be taking place alongside the men's rings final. Well, there will be some familiar names in the rings final for those who've been watching the World Challenge Cup Series over the past couple of weeks. Although none of the men we saw in the pommel horse or the floor final will be competing in the rings. So it's a brand new set of faces for those who are just joining us today. Well, that man is a familiar face to those who've been following the World Challenge Cup over the last few weeks. Daniel Villafane, the cheerful Argentinian gymnast. He won bronze on the rings last weekend in Szombathely in Hungary. But it is Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch who gets this final underway. One of 2 Britons in this rings final. Well, this will be a fascinating bars final. Kélia Némor, certainly one to watch. She comes with a new skill that's named after her with a difficulty rating of G. That's worth 0.7 of a point. It's fantastic to see that in action. She currently has the hardest bars routine in the world right now. So certainly a performance to look forward to.
for the international audience. As I said, it was a great pleasure to share this final, to make this final with this medal. It's a good point just before the World Championship. On remercie de few words now. Voilà, on reprend tout de suite la suite de la compétition.
Merci Olivier, nous reprenons effectivement le fil de la compétition. First gymnast on the ring final from Great Britain, Courtney Tulloch.
This is Courtney Tulloch, first up on the rings. Specialist in rings, double Commonwealth Games champion on this apparatus in 2018 and 2022. He's also a three-time European medal winner on rings. Second in qualification, so you'd expect that he would be in with a medal shout. "27 years old, made his international debut 10 years, senior international debut 10 years ago, and he won a silver medal at the World Cup in Ljubljana on the rings, so very accomplished indeed on this apparatus. He has an eponymous skill with the difficulty rating of F. That's worth 0.6 of a point. Nicely done indeed, Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain. He's the first British gymnast ever to win a global medal on rings. He took bronze at the World Championships in 2022 in Liverpool. He also helped Team GB to a bronze and Olympic qualification in the team event just a couple of days before that. So successful World Championships for Courtney Tulloch last year. Well, Georgia Godwin of Australia, last year's Commonwealth Games silver medalist on bars, silver medalist on vault a little earlier on today. Can she replicate that success? Fourth best in qualification. That was nicely done indeed, and a big smile across her face. Well, it can't be easy going first in a final. It's a decent score for Courtney Tulloch. He agrees with it too, nods his head, pumps his fist, and a big smile. He's certainly pleased with a score of 14.70. This is Daniel Villafane of Argentina. He was sixth in qualification. He took the bronze on the rings last weekend in Sambate and was absolutely delighted to have done so. He's an athlete who very much shows his emotion, and his overriding emotion seems to be happiness, delight, excitement, just joy at being at these World Challenge Cup events. Wait for the big smile. There it is. Daniel Viafane, always one to wear his heart on his sleeve. He's absolutely delighted with his performance. He lets out a big scream. A scream that's almost as big as that smile. Well, the big cheer goes up for the French gymnast Melanie de Jesus dos Santos. 23-year-old from Martinique. She has been in Houston to train at the World Champion Center, along with Simone Biles. Clearly that's done her a lot of good. Just listen to the noise of the crowd. There's so much energy in this performance. Huge swinging. Such a dynamic routine from the French gymnast. Gearing up for a big dismount. What a landing, and just listen to the crowd. They absolutely loved it. She is the European all-round champion. She said she's had a year of growth as an athlete and as a person after training alongside Simone Biles in the United States. Very impressive performance from the French gymnast. Acknowledging the crowd, saluting the home support. Daniel Viafane is in second position so far as things stand. And from Italy, Salvatore Maresca. He actually turned 30 yesterday. I'm sure he didn't have too much time for celebrating. His mind would have been focused on today's final. Although maybe, depending on how he does, he can have a double celebration after today. He is a world medalist, bronze medalist on the rings from the 2021 World Championships, and the 2021 European bronze medalist also on this apparatus. He actually shared the world bronze with Russian gymnast Grigory Klementev and got a gold in the rings in the 2021 World Cup event in Osijek in Croatia. His gymnastics club, Gimnastica Salerno, the president of the club awarded him the nickname Thor because of his strength on the rings. Look at the celebration from Salvatore Maresca. Delighted with his performance. Will it be enough to knock Courtney Tulloch off the top spot? He's up there with a 14.7. Great form, steady, strong. A huge cheer goes up for Melanie de Jesus dos Santos, who gets a 14.7. Next up, Caitlin Rosecrans of South Africa. We saw her in action at the 2020 Olympic Games. She's won bars competitions at the 2018 African Championships, the 2019 Gymnastics World Cup event in Sambate, and the 2022 Gymnastics World Cup event in Cairo. So she's had lots of success on this apparatus. 8th in qualification. All-around champion at the African Championships last year. Oh, this event is such high energy. The gymnasts really feeding off the noise of the crowd. You can see that when they finish their routines, they've really enjoyed performing in front of this arena, in front of this crowd who really appreciate what they're seeing. Salvatore Maresca gets himself into first place, and you get the sense that when he dismounted the bars he knew it as well. That huge cheer just ahead of Courtney Tulloch. Cameron Lee Bernard, part of a very strong French contingent indeed. He pretty much started gymnastics as soon as he could walk. 8th in qualification. I'm sure that the noise of the crowd will be a huge help here. Says that gymnastics is a real passion for him. Trains in Normandy, a regional training centre. Many of these French gymnasts train at INSEP in Paris, in the Bois de Vincennes. It's the National Performance Centre. It's a really impressive facility. It's got Olympians from various disciplines, gymnasts, archers, runners. Well, he says his ambition is to win an Olympic medal, and this French team is certainly a strong one, and the French crowd is a very vocal one. Magnifique is the verdict from the MC. I'm sure much of the crowd in this arena would agree. Well, Caitlin Rosecrans has got herself into second position. She looks like she cannot believe it. Absolutely delighted to be in that silver medal position at this point. But still, there are many gymnasts to go at Siri Sandoval. Already seen her competing today. She was 4th in the vault a little earlier on. She finished 6th in qualifying. Oh, well, doesn't she look pleased with that? And rightly so. And Siri Sandoval and her coach both look pretty happy with that performance. Just missed out on the medal places in the vault. Will she get there with the medals in the bars? This is now the halfway stage of both the bars and the rings finals. So the following 4 athletes know exactly what they need to do, what scores they need to achieve if they are to get on that podium. The standard has been set by the preceding 4. Well, the crowd now, I'm sure, will be treated to a bit more music, a bit more entertainment in the arena before the next 4 athletes on each apparatus get to show us their stuff. But that is the current standings. Courtney Tulloch is top of the standings, followed by Salvatore Maresca, a very close second indeed. Daniel Villafane is in the bronze medal position. Cameron Lee Bernard in 4th, but there are still 4 more athletes to come, of course, so that could all change. And Siri Sandoval awaiting her score. It's a 13.2. It is not enough for a medal because it is Melanie Jesus dos Santos who is the gymnast to beat on the bars. She is streets ahead of the rest of them as things stand. Back to the bars. And back to the rings. Harry Hepworth, part of the Great Britain team. We saw him competing in the European Championships earlier this year. He got his best result on the floor. He finished 4th, just out of the medals. And in qualification for this event, he was 5th. Difficulty of 5.8. His execution was 8.45.
Donc, voilà, peut-être pas l'image sur les écrans, c'est pas grave. Nous allons nous orienter vers le concours des assignés.
Avec votre accueil, le junior éducateur pour Kélia Nemo, Algérie.
An assured performance from Harry Hepworth. Kélia Namour, she is a very interesting athlete indeed. Recently switched from France to Algeria. Qualifies for the Algerian team through her father. She has the most difficult bars routine in the world at the moment. She now has a skill named after her that is a G on the difficulty rating. That was a wonderful dismount indeed from Kélia Namour. The elements of this all really well connected. Such a smooth, fluid routine. A lovely dismount too. She had a great all-around debut performance for Algeria. She won the African title with a score of 5.731. She will be competing in Antwerp at the World Championships. Samir Ait Said. Another French athlete for the crowd to get behind. He's won a total of 3 medals, 1 in every colour, on the rings at European Championships from 2013 to 15. He was also part of the French team for the Olympics in Rio and was a flag bearer at the Tokyo Olympics. He actually performed a backflip while he was there. Samir chants the crowd. Huge support for the Frenchman. He's 33 years of age. He won the European Championships on rings in Moscow 10 years ago. Silver 2 years after that in Montpellier in France. And a bronze in Sofia in 2014. Well, that was an absolutely huge roar for Samir Ait Said. the Frenchman on the rings. Well, he was fourth in qualification, and you could hear the cheers going out, the chants of Samir, Samir, as he was competing. Imagine the noise if he actually wins a medal. Second place for Kéliane Amour of Algeria. She is behind Melanie de Jesus dos Santos of France. Flavia Saraiva of Brazil. The 29-year-old from Rio will turn 24 at the end of the month at the World Championships. She was third in qualifying, so should be in with a good chance of a medal here. She made her senior international debut at the World Challenge Cup in Sao Paulo in 2015 at 16 years of age. She won the floor exercise and got a silver on the beam behind China's Shang Chunsong, and she is a two-time Olympian, so a very experienced athlete in Flavia Saraiva. And that was a very assured performance from the Brazilian. She's one of two Brazilians in this final. Rebecca Andrade, of course, the other. Samir Ait Said, third place for the Frenchman. Can he hold on to that spot on the podium? There are still two more gymnasts to go on each apparatus. This one is Nicolo Vanucci of Italy. Seventh in qualification. He's a 21-year-old. He was born in Bagno al Ripoli, just southeast of Florence, about 7 kilometers south of Florence. A very nice part of the world indeed. Well, he competed at this event in Paris last year. In floor, vault and rings, didn't qualify for any of the finals. So certainly that's a huge improvement for the Italian gymnast. Well, the two Italians certainly enjoying being on the camera there. 3.6 for Flavia Saraiva.
Et au bas asymétrique, attention. Nous l'accueillons aux ovations. Rebecca, Brésil.
Et le festival continue aux asymétriques.
Well, Rebecca Andrade is a real force. 2020 Olympic champion, 2021 world champion on vault, 2022 world all-around champion. She's been part of the Brazil national team since 2012. She had a breakthrough year in 2021 when she won her first Olympic and world medals. Huge smile on her face. She obviously enjoyed that experience. Silver medalist on the bars in the World Championships in Japan 2 years ago. It'll be very interesting indeed to see how she gets on in Antwerp later this month, and then of course in next year's Olympic Games. Still just 24 years of age, although it does seem like she's been around for quite a long time. Sixth place for Nicolo Vannucci. And the final gymnast to go on the rings, Vincenz Hook of Austria. Well, we saw him in action last weekend in Szombathely, where he took gold on this apparatus. Can he replicate that success this week in Paris? He's a rings specialist. He was the silver medalist in Mersin in the European Championships on rings in 2020. And he won silver on rings at the Summer Universiade in Naples in the summer of 2019. Vincenz Hook, a smile goes up, he looks relieved as he finishes that routine. His coach greets him to congratulate him, as do his fellow competitors, which is always great to see. We have one more gymnast still to go on the uneven bars. Natalia Escalera is last but not least. Second for Rebecca Andrade with a 14.6, and the reason those cheers are so loud is because Melanie de Jesus dos Santos, the French athlete, is still in top spot. It will be gold to France as things stand, unless this athlete, Natalia Escalera, can work some magic. Natalia Escalera of Mexico. She had a successful year this year. She won silver in the all-around event at the Pan American Championships a little earlier this year. And she also won 3 bronze medals on vault, on bars and on floor. Giving nothing away. No outward display of emotion from Escalera, as we've seen with so many of these other gymnasts. Vincenz Hoek, third place. He gets himself a bronze medal. So successful couple of weeks for the Austrian. Gold on rings last weekend, bronze this weekend. Pretty successful. A couple of outings for Vincenz Hoek. The seventh for Natalia Escalera, and the crowd in raptures, because that is confirmation then that their gymnast, the French gymnast Melanie de Jesus dos Santos, is still on top of the podium. She will be taking gold ahead of Rebecca Andrade of Brazil. So that is confirmation then of the rings final. Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain, who was first to go in this final, he takes the gold. Very close final indeed. He's just ahead of Salvatore Maresca of Italy by the same score. And it was a very close bars final as well. Look at the difference in those two scores between bronze and silver. And Kaylia Namour of Algeria completing the podium. She takes bronze. So again, tight between gold and silver. Of course, it is the execution score that determines who wins. So Courtney Tulloch with the higher execution, even though it is the same overall score. Vincenz Hoek just behind that pair by the narrowest of margins. He takes bronze.